Cheryl McKinney, 46012. I have a couple of questions for the experts and then I have a statement for the council. One of my questions is regarding the Whaler plant replacement. Where will that be located? You said you've drilled, you've identified a spot, and then who owns that property?
Neil McKee, Director of Water Utilities. We are currently drilling on East 67th Street, and it is the Cooper property. We've done 4 wells on that property and 1 production test well on it. So all that the hydrogeologist has to look at all that data and tell us whether or not we could feasibly put a plant there based on how much capacity those wells are going to pump.
So what I heard was a family by the name of Cooper on this? Thank you. Will homeowners be billed for those new meters, or is that just going to be in the rate increase?
It's inside the rate increase, so we'll do the project and the rate, it'll be in those rates.
When we talk about this rate increase and Mr. Winkler trying to bring in new people, everybody in this room knows that Nestle is our #1 water user. When you tell me that my bill is potentially going to increase 100%, what's that look like for Nestle? And is that enough to make Nestle pick up and leave?
Yes, so that was, that final presentation that I did for, the hospital study expert that's not here. And the large customer is currently paying about $120,000, per year, or per month for their usage, and they'll be increasing to about $435,000, per month by phase 5. So that's a 269% rate increase for that large customer.
There we go.
I don't know about any of you, but if they raise my rates 200-some%, I'm out.
I was going to say they'll be
I don't know
gone.
how they can afford it. I know they're a multi-million-dollar company, but
Billion.
they can go somewhere else and not pay that. So I have a statement for the council. First, I want to express my gratitude to each and every one of you. This is not an easy task. You are all voted here. Part of your commitment, I come to you to address some concerns I have regarding the allocations of city funds, partially in relationship to the water department upgrades and the COVID relief funds. In 2016, the city received $16 million towards the water department. This was supposed to be used for upgrades. There's been a complete lack of transparency regarding how this money was spent. Despite repeated requests for an itemized detail, the mayor has failed to provide this information to the city council and the taxpayers of Anderson. It's crucial that we understand how the previous funds were utilized before we consider allocating any other resources to the mayor. Additionally, the mayor's already accessed approximately $9 million of COVID relief funds. There's no real clear indication how this money has been utilized, unless you guys have information that's...
That was a question that several of us had, so I don't know, but 2016, that was actually specifically asked. So actually, they have the answer to that if you would like that. Yeah.
I can cover those problems.
Speak up.
In 2016, we started projects that were associated with the rate increase from 2015 to 2016. We replaced the old Lafayette treatment plant. It was the newer at the time of the two. However, it was in the one that was in worse shape, just because of corrosion and issues with the treatment process itself. So we chose to do that one. We put that in place. It's a new 10 million gallon a day plant. It went into operation in 2019. We also replaced 20,000 feet of 2-inch and 3-inch water main around the Homewood addition. I talked a little bit about that one a little bit earlier. We drilled 2 new replacement wells in the Lafayette well field, and we built a booster station to move water from the Fairview tank to the Park Road tank. And we also implemented a tank maintenance plan that was $6.4 million over 20 years.
To your 10 million real quick, you talked about this yesterday, and maybe I misunderstood, so, the 10 million, but if you weren't able to use it because of some of the other problems that we are having now?
Yes, so what I went through earlier about the source water, you remember I said it wasn't just a Wheeler Avenue, we also had 4 older wells going back to 1968 in the Lafayette well field. So, you know, we have a 10 million gallon a day plant. It's like having a Maserati in the garage and never using it, because we have source water limitations because of the age and issues with those wells.
Because they're blowing the pictures in.
Yes.
Is that right? Is that, I just wanna make sure. And then to the ARPA funds, the 9 million, that actually was. It's part of this plan.
So I do see those, but it's not itemized. We still don't know how much was spent to rebuild that. That's all we've asked for is an itemized list of how the money was spent. How much was spent on each of
None of that
those
9
things.
million has been spent.
No, I'm talking about the 16 million, that he just gave me a list of what it was spent on. That's like me going to 6 stores and telling my husband I went shopping, yeah, I spent $3,000, and walking out. That's no different. That's a lot of money. $16 million is a lot of money to me. So now the mayor's requesting, I originally thought it was 100 million. Now I'm finding out it's much more than that, maybe up to double that. And I think as members of the council,
All of them on 130 million, is about 20% contingency if I do that right.
yeah, it's 168.
No, no, no.
138. 138.
130.
Total.
130.
130 total.
130.
Estimated construction costs of 105, that's right, I think
Yeah.
contingency close.
So I think it's the council's responsibility to ensure that the taxpayers' dollars are used effectively and responsibly. So I urge you to demand plans on bids on each of these projects. I think it would be prudent for you to say, I'm not gonna give you a carte blanche of $100 million. You come to me with a project and we'll fund a project at a time. But just to hand a blank check to somebody who has not been transparent with this other money, I don't think that that's healthy for our city's financial feasibility to continue to grow. So,
Can I go back real quick?
you can.
Like I said,
No, you're fine.
I'm gonna kind of explain the process because this is what I do for a living.
Absolutely.
If the homeowner, let's just say you wanna build a deck. If you don't have the funds there, you're not gonna go call 3 contractors to give you bids. And I'm sure as hell not gonna give you a bid if I know you got the money.
I'm not saying,
So I'm saying, go back. Get the 130 million, okay? We get it, we're done. We're gonna have to at least get 3 bids, open bids that anybody can go to. Go sit up there on the 5th floor and watch it. And it's gonna be itemized to the team. You gotta hire architects, engineers, and all that first, before you can get the drawings, to then hire or bid out to all these 5 or 6 general contractors or virtual contractors of this standing. So, I know what you're saying. Now, I'm telling you, I'd be happy to look through every one of those bids with you when we get them in, to see how much they're spending for every water line, and every boring they have to do, and every driveway they gotta replace. That will be itemized. Once we know we got the 130 in place, to go out and get these, you know.
I understand what you're saying and I appreciate your offer, but I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm a nurse. I wouldn't understand those bids the way you do. That's why you're up there and not me. But alls I'm asking is that we don't just give the mayor carte blanche $100 million without some accountability. You guys have to hold him accountable for every single dollar. That's all I'm asking of you. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
one other thing that I heard the other day that hadn't been brought up. I think it was, and I can make sure I get this right, you know, out of cities, 25,000 people or more, there's like 39 in the state. We're at 31 on our rate. What, is that right? Yeah, on the low end.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and so even after this 5-year project, if nobody else takes an increase, we're still gonna be at 16. Is that,
Yes, that is also correct.
okay? And so that's not feasibly even possible for none of the others to take an increase.
Well, I can tell you, I worked for Indiana American Water for 16 years, and so I can tell you for a fact, they go in for a rate case about every 18 months. So the top 9 are Indiana American Water properties. Muncie, Richmond, Copeland, Noblesville. They have a single rate tariff, so all of those rates throughout the state of Indiana are the same. So every 18 months, they're gonna be in a rate case. So by the time we get, 5 years down the road, we may end up at 31 still. Because a lot of those utilities are gonna go through rate cases as well.
And so somebody like Nestle, even if they go somewhere else, they're still gonna pay probably the same fair